Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here for this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel. Before we get started, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Would everybody please rise? And Councilman Borelli, could you lead us?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And standing to remember, keeping thoughts of soldiers that are abroad that can't be with their families. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Okay, once again, good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here for this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel. Today's date is Wednesday, May 16th, 2018. And tonight's Town Board meeting is a voting meeting. For the record, all Town Board members are present with us this evening, as is our Town Clerk, Ann Spofford, all the way down to my right, and down to my left, Greg Fulchetti is the Carmel Town Council. So the first item on the agenda is to accept the Town Board minutes of April 25th and May 2nd, 2018. I just need a motion to accept those.
Second.
So moved by Councilwoman McDonough, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Agenda item number 1 is a resolution making an appointment to the Town of Carmel Recreation Advisory Parks Advisory Committee. Councilman Schneider, would you read number 1, please?
It'll be my pleasure. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby appoints Michael Mongan to the Town of Carmel Recreation and Parks Advisory Committee for a term commencing immediately and expiring December 31st, 2020. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by the rest of the board. I second it too. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli.
Yes.
Councilman Schneider.
Yes, with pleasure.
Councilman Lupinacci.
Yes, with pleasure.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes, with pleasure.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, with pleasure. Motion carried. We have Mike Mongan with us here tonight in the audience. Mike, congratulations. Thank you so much for offering to serve on the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. We know that you have a long background and history with parks and recreations and fields and athletics and things like that, so you're an excellent candidate to be part of the Parks and Rec Advisory Committee. And I know you're going to bring a lot to that board and to the Town of Carmel, so we can only benefit by having your expertise and your knowledge participating on that committee. So thank you so much.
The town and the children of the town should be honored, and I know I'm honored to have a man of your caliber on the Recreation Committee. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So, did you want to say a couple of things, Mike? Do you want to say anything, or it's up to you? No, you don't have to. But yeah, just step right up there.
No, I just wanted to thank the board for their confidence in my appointment, and just to tell you that I'm not going to let you down. I've had a vested interest in this community for a lot of years over here. We moved up here in 1966 from Larchmont Acres, New York, right across from Mamaroneck High School. So I'm looking forward to the challenge. Like I said, Councilman Borelli, we're going to get started on it very quickly. Looking forward to really getting some energy here and really getting this thing kicked up a notch. So thank you very much for your confidence.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike, thank you so much. Yep, appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Lynn.
Okay, next resolution is also making an appointment to the Town of Carmel Recreation and Parks Advisory Committee. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read number 2, please?
Sure. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby appoints Raymond Gallagher to the Town of Carmel Recreation and Parks Committee for a term commencing immediately and expiring December 31st, 2020. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli.
Yes.
Councilman Schneider.
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci.
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes, with pleasure.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. And Ray Gallagher is not with us this evening, but Ray, thank you so much on behalf of the Town Board for your participation and your being involved in the Recreation and Parks Advisory Committee also. And Ray also, very qualified, has a long background dealing with youth sports and recreation activities in Putnam Valley. I know he's works there, right? He's employed there? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, for the Parks and Recreation in Putt Valley. So he brings a lot to the table also. So between Ray and you, Mike, I know you guys are going to bring good things, and we're going to see a lot of good results from your participation on that committee.
Definitely going to raise it a notch with you two guys on.
Yes, absolutely. No question about that. So thank you so much. And Ray, if you're watching, thank you too. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ray.
Okay, next resolution, number 3, is an amended resolution establishing dates, times, and locations of town board meetings. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read 3, please?
Sure. Resolved that all regular meetings of the Town Board of Town of Carmel shall be held on the first and third Wednesday of each month, commencing Wednesday, January 17th, 2018, at Carmel Town Hall, 60 McAlpin Avenue, Mahopac, New York, at 7 p.m., except in the month of July, where there shall be a meeting on Tuesday, July 3rd, 2018, instead of Wednesday, July 4th, 2018, and on Tuesday, November 20th, 2018, instead of Wednesday, November 21st, 2018. And be it further resolved that all work sessions of the Town Board of Town of Carmel shall be held on the second and fourth Wednesday of each month, commencing Wednesday, January 10th, 2018, and in the month of December, when no work session meeting shall be held on the fourth Wednesday. All work sessions shall be held at Carmel Town Hall, 60 McAlpin Avenue, Mahopac, New York, at 7 p.m., with the exception of the second work sessions for each month, which will held a roundtable informal discussion beginning at 6 p.m., and with the exception of the work session meetings, which was held on Wednesday, April 25th, 2018, in the Hamlet of Carmel at 7 p.m. at the Carmel Fire Department, Vink Drive, Carmel, New York. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes, but we will hold more roundtable and formal discussions if necessary.
Ad hoc, yes, agreed.
And the 5th Wednesday of the month we've been utilizing also.
Councilman
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 4, is a resolution authorizing the rescheduling of a public hearing, June 22nd, 2018. Councilman Borelli, would you read 4, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the rescheduling of a public hearing to be held on the 20th day of June, 2018, at 7 p.m., or as soon thereafter that evening as possible, on a local law enacting Chapter 140 of the Town Code of the Town of Carmel entitled Towing and Storage. And be it further resolved that Town Clerk Ann Spofford is hereby authorized to instruct to publish and post the necessary notices in the official newspaper of the town and our town bulletin board regarding this public hearing. I offer the resolution as read.
Second?
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. All right, next resolution, number 5, is a resolution authorizing the rescheduling of a public hearing, June 20th, 2018. Councilman Schneider, would you read 5, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the rescheduling of a public hearing to be held on the 20th day of June, 2018, at 7 p.m. or as soon thereafter that evening as possible, on a local law amending Chapter 89 of the Town Code of the Town of Carmel entitled Freshwater Wetlands, and be it further resolved that Town Clerk Ann Spofford is hereby authorized and instructed to publish and post the necessary notices in the official newspaper of the town and on the town bulletin board regarding this public hearing. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution is a resolution authorizing the mailing for the Lake Secor Park District newsletter. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 6, please?
Sure. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as the Commissioners of the Lake Secor Park District, hereby authorizes the mailing of the summer 2018 newsletter as prepared by the Lake Secor Park District Committee to all properties within the district, and further directs that the cost thereof be charged as a district expense. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. And any cost associated with the newsletter is paid for by the Lake Secor Park District residents only, and not the entire town. Okay, next resolution, number 7, is a resolution setting rates for the 2018 seasonal employees for the Lake Secor Park District. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read 7, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of the Lake Secor Park District, hereby sets the following rates for lifeguards in 2018. Head lifeguard will be at $20 per hour. Lifeguard number 1 should be $13 an hour. Lifeguard number 2 should be $15 an hour. Lifeguard number 3 will be $17 an hour. I offer this resolution as read, and I'm assuming that the lifeguard 1, 2, and 3 is based on years of experience or qualifications because of the different dollar amounts.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, John. Yeah.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Borelli. Roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Once again, these lifeguards will be providing their lifeguarding services to the Lake Secor Park
God
District
bless.
and be paid from Lake Secor District funds that are budgeted in the 2018 town budget. Okay, next resolution, number 8, is a resolution authorizing the mailing of the Lake Cassie Park District newsletter. Councilman Borelli, would you read 8, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of the Lake Cassie Park District, hereby authorizes the mailing of April 2018 newsletter as prepared by the Lake Cassie Park District Committee to all properties within the district, and further directs that the cost thereof be charged as a district expense. I offer the resolution as read.
Second?
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. And same as the Lake Secor Park District newsletter, Lake Cassie Park District residents that reside in that district will pay the cost out of their district budgeted funds for the newsletter, and also for the next resolution is going to be for the seasonal rates for the lifeguards. So, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 9, is a resolution setting rates for the 2018 seasonal employees for the Lake Cassie Park District. Councilman Schneider, would you read 9, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as the Commissioners of the Lake Cassie Park District, hereby sets the following rates for lifeguards in 2018. The position of lifeguard will be either $16, $14, or $13 an hour rate, and gate guard will be either $15 or $13 an hour rate, depending on seniority. I offer the resolution as pre-filed with the town clerk.
Second?
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 10, is a resolution accepting a proposal for tax collection software and authorizing entry into a software licensing agreement. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 10, please?
Sure. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town of Carmel's Receiver of Taxes, Kathleen Kraus, hereby authorizes the entry into a software licensing agreement with Business Automation Services, Inc., Clifton Park, New York, for tax collection software at a first-year cost not to exceed $27,850, and at an annual cost not to exceed $5,100, thereafter for maintenance, support, and processing services. And be it further resolved that upon presentation of insurance certificates in form is approved by the Town Council, the Town Supervisor is authorized to sign the reference licensing agreement in form as is on file in the office of the Town Supervisor. I offer this resolution as read.
Seconded.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Schneider and Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, so this is gonna allow for greater efficiencies in the tax receiver's office with respect to software and programs and things like that, and the residents will be able to pay their annual taxes right online, as opposed to having to physically come here to the tax receiver's office. So this will give them the capability of doing it right from home or their place of business, wherever they'd like to, and we could process it that way, as opposed to you having to take a trip here to see the tax receiver. So it's a big benefit to the taxpayers, and it's going to help with the whole process. So it's really good that we're moving forward with this, and I'd like to thank the tax receiver, Kathleen Kraus, and Mary Ann Maxwell, for working on this as well, with meeting with the software and program provider. Okay, next resolution, number Is it 11?
Yep,
11, accepting a proposal for and authorizing entry into payment for processing agreement.
This
Councilman
read,
Lupinacci, would you read 11, please?
Yes, resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town of Carmel Receiver of Taxes Kathleen Kraus, hereby authorizes the entry into payment processing agreement with Forte Payment Systems, Allen, Texas, for tax collection payment processing. Said agreement to be informed as is on file in the office of the Town Supervisor. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 12, is a resolution in support of the Commission of Traffic Studies with the Town of Carmel and rescinding previous requests for a traffic study. Councilman Borelli, would you read number 12, please?
I'm going to try.
Okay.
Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Carmel has been advised by Lieutenant John Dearman that the Putnam County Traffic Study Board has recommended the investigation, study, and remediation, of certain traffic and road conditions within the Town of Carmel. And whereas the Town Board is further advised that the New York State Department of Transportation requires a resolution of support from the Town of Carmel to process said request for investigation and study. Excuse me again. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby supports the commission of a study by, by the New York State Department of Transportation for the purpose of establishing no parking zones on US Route 6 in Mayapack between East Lake Boulevard and McMahon Place for a distance of 30 feet on either side of each private entrance exit to and from US Route 6. And be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby rescinds its prior request for the New York State Department of Transportation Commission a study of the intersection of Route 6 and Crane Road for consideration of possible installation of a traffic control signal. Be it further resolved that the Town Supervisor, Ken Schmidt, is hereby authorized to transmit a copy of this resolution to New York State Department of Transportation immediately. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. And just let me explain a little bit more what this is. The Putnam County Traffic Safety Board, Lieutenant John Dearman from Carmel PD is a member of that Traffic Safety Board, along with other law enforcement personnel in Putnam County, and there's some citizens that also sit on that committee. So they're recommending that along the Route 6 corridor over here from the fire department at Route 6 and Croton Falls Road up to East Lake Boulevard, where it comes out onto Route 6, they're recommending that the ingresses and egresses of businesses in that span of the corridor, that there's going to be no parking. They're recommending that no parking be posted or parking be prohibited from parking 30 feet from the entrance, 30 feet prior to the entrance to the establishment or the business, and then 30 feet after the ingress and egress to that business. So where you have the entrances along Route 6 there's quite a few restaurants along that corridor, but this affects all the businesses along that corridor, not limited to the restaurants. They recommend that vehicles should not park right up tight to the entrance and exit of those establishments. So it leaves the people who are either entering or exiting, it leaves them enough sight visibility to see oncoming cars coming in either direction to safely exit and pull out. People have had great difficulties when there's cars parked right up at the entrances and exits to see around them, those cars that are parked there, to see if traffic's coming or not. You really have to inch out and be very careful when you're exiting those parking lots. So what this will effectively do, it'll keep the cars back 30 feet from beyond the entrance and the exit to those particular businesses along that Route 6 corridor for sight visibility so people can safely enter and exit. those parking lots. So,
Kenny,
You
I
wanna add
just have,
something?
I just actually have a question, because last week it didn't have Eastlake and McMahon,
Mm-hmm.
because isn't Eastlake starts by CVS?
i-
So the way that this could read, I just want to make sure that it's clarified. We're not talking about Eastlake from CVS to McMahon, because that wouldn't do the areas that we're talking about. We wanted Eastlake down by Kmart to McMahon.
yes,
know what I'm
you're
saying?
correct.
So this
Clear-
needs to be
Clearly, the intent of this and the intent of the Traffic Safety Board is that it's the Eastlake Boulevard that meets Route 6 up by Kmart.
By Kmart
Up by
and
Lake
down,
Plaza, right.
Not by CVS.
Not by
Because
CVS.
it didn't specify Eastlake and McMahon last week. That's why I didn't question it.
Yeah, yeah.
But this week it is, so Greg, I don't know, is verbally saying that we want it from the
You can
Eastlake?
amend it. You can amend that provision to say, between the intersection of East Lake Boulevard and US Route 6, then southerly towards McMahon Place, because that's what you're saying. You're not saying coming north from here, correct? That's
I'm
generally southerly
talking about
direction.
from that way to this way.
Talking about up by
Kmart.
Baldwin Lane.
Up by,
Yes, Baldwin
yeah.
Lane,
And traversing
to McMahon.
south to
McMahon.
McMahon.
Yes.
So you can add that, whatever else you wanted to amend. I had,
So I'd like to amend it from what you said.
okay. If there's no other amendments, then you can just basically say between East Lake Boulevard southerly to McMahon Place for a distance of 30, right in the section of the fourth line of the first
Well,
there.
Greg, just a point of clarification.
Okay.
Route 6 runs east and west. It's posted as east and west, not north and south.
That's the road directions, but that's a northerly and southerly compass direction, I think, that we generally observe. It doesn't, if you want to say that it's going to be west as opposed to south, that's fine.
West of
East Lake
East Lake,
towards McMahon Place.
right.
You want to say, okay, so it'll be Mayapack between East Lake Boulevard westerly to McMahon Place. That's how I would amend it, if that's what you're trying to effect.
Okay.
Yes.
Want to adopt that amendment?
You want to
I
adopt
do.
it like
I
that?
adopt the amendment.
Get a second?
I'll second it.
There you go.
Okay, so
And you got that?
Got it.
do we need a roll call vote
I'm just
on?
going to read it back. On Route 6 in Mahopac, between East Lake Boulevard westerly to McMahon Place. That's it?
Yeah,
And Susie offered it. It was seconded by,
Kenny.
Compass direction,
Yeah.
north, south.
and roll call vote. Councilman Borelli?
Tyranny type of guy.
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, yes is amended, yes. Thank you, motion carried. Okay. All right. Okay, next resolution, number 13, is a resolution authorizing the award of a contract for the purchase of bulk diesel fuel for the Town of Carmel Highway Department. Councilman Schneider, would you read that, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town of Carmel Highway Superintendent Michael Simone, hereby authorizes the award of bid contract for purchase of bulk diesel fuel for the Town of Carmel Highway Department for the period commencing immediately through August 30th, 2018, from Costco Heritage LLC under New York State Office of General Services contract number PC 68021. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Okay, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 14, is a resolution authorizing payment for equipment repair to the Town of Carmel Highway Department. Susie, would you read 14, please?
Be resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of the Town of Carmel Highway Superintendent Michael Simone, hereby authorizes payment to Pine Plains Tractor and Equipment, Inc., Pine Plains, New York, for services rendered in connection with mower repairs in the amount of $11,908.38, in accordance with the invoice dated April 30th, 2018. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli? Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 15, is a resolution accepting a proposal and authorizing entry into agreement for the installation of maintenance and video surveillance systems for Sycamore Park and Camarda Park. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read 15?
Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town of Carmel Director of Recreation and Parks, James R. Gilchrist, hereby authorizes the acceptance of the proposal from Commercial Instruments and Alarm Systems, Inc., Fishkill, New York, and the entry into agreements for the installation of video surveillance systems at Paul A. Camarada Park and Sycamore Park in accordance with the proposals dated April 30th, 2018. And be it further resolved that the authorized cost for each system shall be $11,506 and $9,227 respectively for the installation of the surveillance systems at Paul A. Camarada Park and Sycamore Park. And be it further resolved that the cost of maintenance option number 1 under each of said proposals as an annual expense is hereby authorized as well. And be it further resolved that Town Supervisor Kenneth Schmidt is authorized to sign all necessary documents required to effect the purchase on the terms authorized herein. And be it further resolved that Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any necessary budget modifications required to fund the purchase authorized hereunder. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Borelli. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 16, is a resolution authorizing improvements at Sycamore Park. Councilman Borelli, would you read 16, please?
Resolved that the town board of the Town of Carmel, in connection with the proposed Eagle Scout project of Thomas Matta of Boy Scouts of America, hereby authorizes the performance of improvements at Sycamore Park in accordance with the memorandum and plans provided by Director of Recreation and Parks, James R. Gilchrist, as detailed in his memorandum to the Town Board dated May 4th, 2018. And be it further resolved that upon presentation of insurance certificates for all vendors and contractors proposed to perform improvements in connection with the authorization in form acceptable to Town Council, the aforesaid work may be commenced. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. And
Putting in the Gaga pit.
he's doing the Gaga Pit.
Yes.
Okay, this
I
Boy
was
Scout for
saying
his
that,
Eagle
the Gaga
Scout
pit.
project is installing a Gaga Pit at Sycamore Park. It's like a little dodgeball
Pretty
pit,
neat.
right?
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dodgeball below the waist.
Dodgeball, the intent, right, the intent is to keep it below the
But
waist.
within a
No
little,
hitting above the waist.
yeah, but within a little structure.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that'll happen.
within an octagon structure.
Play. Boom.
Dodgeball meets MMA,
Yeah.
or UFC.
Into the octagon, exactly.
All right, next resolution, number 17, is a resolution authorizing improvements at Volts Park. Councilman Schneider, would you read 17, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, in connection with the proposed Eagle Scout project of Mario Termine of Boy Scouts of America, hereby authorizes the performance of improvements at Volts Park in accordance with the memorandum and plans provided by Director of Recreation and Parks, James R. Gilchrist, as detailed in his memorandum to the Town Board dated May 4th, 2018. And be it further resolved that upon presentation of insurance certificates for all vendors and contractors proposed to perform improvements in connection with this authorization in form acceptable to Town Council, the aforesaid work may be commenced. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. And I'd like to thank this Boy Scout for his Eagle Scout project. He's going to be doing improvements up at Volts Park. It's off of Crest Drive. If you're not familiar where that is, it's where the tower, communications tower is up on the hill. You could see it going through town. If you look up on the hill, that's Crest Drive, and there's actually a park up there. One of our parks, Volts Park, is up there, and he's going to be doing improvements to the walking trails and things like that up in the park. So I'd like to thank him for selecting that as his Boy Scouts Eagle Scout project.
That'll be nice.
It's going to look nice.
Yeah.
Bet many people didn't know there was a park up there. Right? You do now, Mike, right? All right. Okay, next resolution, number 18, is a resolution releasing a bond. And Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 18, please?
But whereas applications have been made by Kirkwood Estates LLC for the total release of a bond posted in accordance with Chapter 131 and/or Chapter 156 of the Town Code regarding the property known and designated as Town of Carmel map, tax map number 64.7-1-2131, Kirkwood Estates. And whereas said applications have been reviewed by the Planning Board and the Office of the Town Engineer, both of which have recommended the release of said bond. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the release of the bonds referenced herein, specifically Universal Bonding Insurance Company, bond number 500881, in the amount of $103,495. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, offered by Councilwoman McDonough and seconded by Councilman Schneider and Lupinacci. Roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, if you flip your agenda over, we have number 19 is a resolution authorizing payment for emergency repairs, Town of Carmel Water District Number 2. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read 19, please?
Yes. Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of Carmel Water District Number 2, and upon the recommendation of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., hereby authorizes payment to Ed Cook Excavating, Carmel, New York, the sum of $9,074.36 for the service rendered in connection with repair of water leak in the vicinity of 22 Old Farm Road in the Carmel Water District Number 2 distribution system, and in accordance with the invoice dated April 6, 2018. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 20, is a resolution authorizing acceptance of a proposal for appraisal services. Councilman Borelli, would you read 20, please?
Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Carmel has been advised by Town Assessor Glenn Josie that professional appraisal services will be required in the defense of certain tax certiorari proceedings currently pending in the Supreme Court, Putnam County, concerning the real property located at tax maps 44.18-1-4, 66-2-49, 44.18-1-2, 44.18-1-3, and 44.9-1-8. And whereas the town assessor has procured proposals from various professional real property appraisal services and has recommended acceptance of the proposal submitted by Greystone Valuation Group, Inc. of Bedford, New York, dated April 16, 2018. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, in accordance with the recommendation of the town assessor, hereby accepts the reference proposal of Greystone Valuation Group, Inc. to prepare a preliminary report for said matters at cost not to exceed $2,750 for each preliminary appraisal, and additional $2,000 for full trial appraisal as well, and for trial testimony from Greystone Valuation at a rate of $1,400 per day if necessary, all in accordance with the terms of the proposed reference above. And be it further resolved that Town Controller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all budget transfers or modifications necessary to fund the services authorized herein. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 21, this is the final resolution. It's a resolution authorizing payment of record owner and lien searches. Councilman Schneider, would you read 21, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes payment to NTC Enterprises, Inc. of Carmel, New York, in the amount of $6,000 for record owner and lien searches provided in connection with the necessary conveyance and/or acquisition of real property for future dedication of roads within the Long Pond Road Improvement District in accordance with the invoice dated January 8, 2018. I offer the resolution as read.
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, that completes the agenda items for this evening's Town Board voting meeting. Is there any members of the public that would like to come up at this time and comment on only the agenda items at this time that we covered, 1 through 21? Come on up now if you'd like to. Okay, there being none, I'm going to open up the floor now to this is the open forum, new business portion of the meeting, where you have to be a town resident, taxpayer, business owner to come up and comment. Jerry? Under open forum, new business. Thanks, Jerry.
Jerry Rubnitsky from Hopac. As you may have read in the papers, that there was an article that I've seen in regard to what happened at the elementary school in North Salem, where there had been a meltdown from the pipeline and the compressor station, and the children in the elementary school were subjected to the fumes, and it was a really bad odor. And they had to keep the children inside the building the whole time to partially protect them, although it's not complete safety. But of course, many of the parents were very upset about that, as you would expect, and they contacted the town supervisor there, and that was Warren Lucas. And he was aware that the group that I've been working with had come up with a resolution to get the DEC to provide greater protection. The federal laws really don't protect the community very well. There are ways of limiting the amount of carcinogens that are emitted, and the DEC now is considering other methods of protecting the public. They will be, a week from tomorrow, they will be having a webinar that people can watch on their computers and even sign up to speak if you wanted to. I can send you a link to that if you're interested. Essentially, this resolution was reviewed by a number of scientific experts in New York State and even some experts in Pennsylvania to make sure that all of the factual information was accurate and that the recommendations are legitimate. And so I'm going to be leaving a copy of the resolution with you so you can all have a chance to review it. And I have a copy of a letter that Warren Lucas sent out to some people, including politicians, indicating that 3 towns have so far passed the resolution this past week, including Somers, North Salem, and Southeast. I was one of the people who spoke with the town board in Southeast, and they were very concerned. They have a compressor station in Southeast, and they find that children are most vulnerable to these fumes. Their immune system is not as developed, and they're more likely to get respiratory problems, asthma, and even cancer. And I read it's not in the resolution, but I read an article just recently that indicated that fetuses are very vulnerable to this as well. And young children who are exposed to these toxic chemicals tend to have a lower IQ. The IQ is affected. So there's a lot of problems, and, you know, anyone who's a parent certainly will be very concerned about those things. There's been, it's in the resolution, but also in the letter from Warren Lucas, that at one location in the town of Southeast, they found that they had released 24 million cubic feet of gas in 2016. And not only does it have an effect on the health, but of course on the climate as well, because the methane is 86 times more potent a greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. So I'm going to leave a copy of his letter. You can look at it. And,
Sure.
and I know that he's interested in speaking with other people in town, so if you want to speak with him, you can. Or even with Tony Hay, who is very much in favor. But both of those town boards, I know, voted unanimously to approve the resolution, and I believe they did in Somers as well. So I'm not going to go into any more detail. I'll leave the resolution with you and that letter, and if you have any questions, you can contact me, send me an email or whatever, and if anyone in the community has questions, you can contact me as well.
Sure.
It's
628-6681.
Jerry, could you please at least ensure that you send us the email for that webinar next week? Because
Yeah.
I think that if there are already 3 other local municipalities that are surrounding us that have voted unanimously, without even seeing the resolution, I'm pretty sure that we would be
Well,
in favor of supporting this, especially
Yeah.
for the health and well-being of all the citizens.
And also, it mentions in the resolution that the American Medical Association and the Medical Society of the State of New York acknowledge the hazards of natural gas infrastructure and associated adverse health impacts. And they passed resolutions even back in 2015 calling for health impact assessments for that.
All right, good,
Thank you.
thank you.
Sure. So leave that with Ann, Jerry, and she'll make sure that the board gets copies of it. Okay. Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, thank you. All right, is there anybody else here for the open forum, new business portion of the meeting? Sir? Come on up.
Hi, this is actually my first time here.
Oh, welcome.
My name is Adam Panzer. I live Oslo Path, Carmel Hamlet. I'm here on behalf of several of my neighbors, including myself and my wife, who've been residents here for going on 4 years. We have a 3-year-old daughter, we have a newborn son, and this marks the, thank you. This marks the 3rd time that my family's been displaced due to a prolonged interruption in electrical service in under 2 months. While I understand that it's weather, it happens, no one can control it, and of course, when these situations arise, they require a great deal of patience and effort and resources to get resolved. But what I'm deeply troubled by is the lack of transparency and communication on part of New York State Electric and Gas, commonly referred to as NYSEG. Anyone familiar with the situation, I'm sure, is sick of the term assessing at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the only one.
Yeah, so anyway, the reason why I'm here tonight is to just ask the members of this board for their assistance in doing whatever is within their power to hold NYSEG and their parent company, Avangrid, accountable to such transparency and open communication with their customers so that, you know, we, the residents of this community, parents of small children, children of elderly parents, working professionals of all kinds can have a better ability to plan and act accordingly when these situations arise. I don't feel that's too much to ask of our energy provider, and if it is, I feel like that's a bigger issue. So thank you very much for letting me speak.
Adam, you are not alone.
I realize that.
I
thank-
can tell you
thank
that I was on the phone today with NYSEG probably 3, 4, maybe 5 different times, you know, speaking with them with respect to how they're responding to this current outage. You know, we dealt with them during the March nor'easters.
Yep.
Same situation. I'm sure you were out then as well.
Oh, yeah.
But they do a horrible job. I don't have any problem saying that. They're not very supportive of their customers, and we're all customers. There's 14,000 customers in the town of Carmel, and they don't have a preparedness plan. They're not very responsive to restoration efforts, and they're very weak as far as I'm concerned. They're not the NYSEG that we once all knew from years ago. The NYSEG company, 15, 20, 25, 30 years ago, they were a very productive, very responsible company. Since this NYSEG has been bought out by a company from Spain, Avangrid from Spain, it's a foreign entity, they laid off and let go of half of their workforce.
NYSEG in name only.
Yeah, it's name only. So I've been to hearings regarding the last the response effort from the March nor'easters. I've been to hearings for that. I've met with the president of NYSEG, Carl Taylor. I've met with their upper administration. And it's not just me, all the supervisors and other elected officials have been on them about this. The Public Service Commission had hearings not too long ago that I attended, and I expressed, my views on how they handle outages, and everybody it's one common theme, that they're horrible, and they really need to be held accountable for their lack of responsiveness, and preparation. And I've been on them for years now as far as mobilizing ahead of time. You mobilize your forces before the storm hits. Meteorologists can forecast storms out 5, 6, 7, 8, sometimes 10 days in advance. So there's enough advance notice that they could start assembling and mobilizing their workforce that they're going to need to handle multiple outages. And they just don't do it. They wait until after the storm hits, and then they call in mutual aid.
Yeah, it's a very reactive approach, and it's whatever they do is fine. All I really wish I could see with them is just some transparency in how and where they're mobilizing their resources when these things happen, just so that we have a better idea. I don't understand why they don't do that. I don't understand how that would cost them anything or change their business model in any way, shape, or form. But that being said, I really do thank each of you for your service and your attention to this and this opportunity to speak. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Adam.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Adam. And I got a text before the meeting that, remember the men that came down from Quebec, Canada, Hydro-Quebec? They are top-notch. Those guys have a skill set that is unbelievable. They come with 10-wheeler utility trucks. They come well-equipped. They're in their suits. These guys are really good. They impressed a lot of people when they were here during the nor'easters in March. And I heard that there was a convoy of them heading this way on 84.
But it's ridiculous that we have to count on that. This is the governor's call that allowed this company to be sold to a foreign entity, and the governor could take it back if he wanted to.
Yeah, oh, you sure could.
Maybe the town of Carmel should start a petition to the governor.
The
Have all
governor
the
has the
residents.
power to hold NYSEG accountable and pull their
All right,
license.
that'll be our
Yeah.
next, we're
So-
going to start a petition.
All right.
Everything should be directed directly at the governor, because
Yeah.
we feel the same way.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Is there anybody else on new business, open forum?
From Maine, 15 trucks, and I'm probably all by me, like 4 o'clock.
Hi, everybody. Jean Hopper, Mayapack. I was actually going to talk about something else, but when this gentleman brought up NYSEG, I had that penciled in. Between the last storms we had and now, it goes with what the gentleman said. I haven't seen NYSEG around, and there's been a lot of non-emergency maintenance that should have been being performed. There are still trees on lines. I don't know how much we're responsible for trees that are kind of hanging off of guardrails. You kind of got to swerve your car around because the trees are sticking out. A lot of that's been taken care of. I'm going to respectfully ask the board. I know that you said you've been to meetings. From March until now, this last storm, have we been in contact with NYSEG? Is Ms. Odell in contact with the governor's department? I mean, what are we doing? We are paying our bills. They are billing us. There's got to be some recourse through the state of New York that we can use with NYSEG. It's not enough to say, wow, your response time is poor and people are without power for 3 days. It's not enough. They're charging us, we're paying for a service that we're not receiving. That includes line maintenance, tree maintenance, maintenance 2 or 3 weeks after a storm. You know, it's unfortunate that we had to have those Canadians come down and help us. Where's NYSEG been? I haven't seen them in the last 2 or 3 months, and they should have been doing work.
Dollars.
I'm sorry?
They are in Spain counting the bottom line.
Oh, right. Well, that's our money going to them. So there's got to be some recourse through New York State that I'm respectfully requesting the town. You had a great idea petitioning them,
That's what I'm-
petitioning Odell, petitioning New York State.
I think
And
that-
enough is enough.
Gotta go
And guess
straight.
what?
Yeah, I think
We won't
that's
pay
the
our
route
bills.
to do.
We
I
can
think-
minus off the 20% that it costs for our groceries, our hotel costs, our water costs, whatever it is.
You lose all the food, you lose everything, you know?
So we need to
we'll
take it to the next step.
Yeah, we'll start that. I'll start working on a petition tomorrow with the town board.
Absolutely.
And then we'll get it out there, and hopefully Carmel will be the first of many municipalities.
Right.
That'll send it to the governor and say, pretty much enough is enough.
If they want their bills paid,
You know,
then they're going to have to
um,
provide a service.
yeah,
And the
so we'll have
service
that
includes the
tomorrow.
maintenance as well, not just the lights on when they're on.
Yep.
I just wanted to say that because, you know, now we got hit again.
I know.
And we were one of the luckier towns. I mean, what's happened around us is an atrocity.
Yeah.
And they're going to be suffering for days again. It's just nuts. And I keep seeing these trees and I think, where have they been? They haven't been doing any maintenance. Don't see them. Well, I just want to also touch on the Legion Hall, Bucks Hollow. I just saw somebody at the pizzeria tonight, and they said that by June, hopefully, they'll be getting their sewer lines and their restrooms.
We're hopeful that that is when the construction is going to take place.
Okay.
And be completed sometime in June. There's a temporary easement, Greg, that you're working on with,
The highway's
Attorney?
prepared, highway department's prepared to construct their drainage facilities in there, which are going to be part of that process. We're waiting on the consent form from the owner to enable us to do the work. And I spoke to counsel for the Legion this week, and hopefully they're coming to their own agreement as to their easement. And, but highway's ready to go. According to Mike Simone last time we spoke, that he's ready to do it on a couple weeks' notice once the paperwork's in place. But it's out of our hands. We've put the paperwork in the hands of the parties, and we need the authorizing documents back. Simple as that.
So it's not set in stone yet. The agreement still hasn't been signed.
Agreements are not finalized.
They are not finalized.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
is there anything that we can do, Greg,
I'm going to reach out to him tomorrow.
to see if we can expedite getting those agreements signed?
Well, I think
Can you reach out to?
I'll reach out to him tomorrow.
All right.
you and I called one of the parties' counsel
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago. I think it was, may have been 3 weeks ago,
Did he ever return?
not to my office.
Okay.
I don't know if he did to the supervisor's office or not.
He didn't, no. So
I don't
we'll-
know all the ins and outs, the fine details, the nuances of this case, and I know it's between two private entities. But I do know that the Legion Hall was paying, am I correct in saying that they were paying for sewer and water over the last 3 years? that
They have been, yes.
And so what happens then if they haven't been receiving the services that water and sewer payment has hopefully, provided?
I don't want to speak to what
Yeah,
they've been
yeah.
paying or not. If they're in the district and they have access to Maine, they're subject to paying capital.
They're-
Okay?
They're in-
Whether
they're
in- I'm not really
they're using water and getting billed separately as a water district user, that will be another matter. My understanding is they are, but that's something that I would confirm with the Controller's Office and the Assessor's Office before we said anything of a factual nature about that.
I just bring it up because I know that they've been paying for Porta Sands. And I know that they're a fundraising private organization. So I'm just putting it out there, if that's something either the town or again the county would perhaps help them out with. After all is said and done, if something could be done to reimburse them the costs of those Porta Sands, if in fact they have been paying for sewer the last 3.5 years.
They're
A lot
paying
of
for
people pay for
maintenance.
sewer that aren't hooked up to sewer if they're in the district.
Okay,
What Greg said is they're probably paying for sewer, but they're not paying for usage. It's
okay.
two separate bills.
So they weren't being billed for the usage.
I don't want to say one way or the other. My understanding is they're within the district and they have access to a main. So that would subject them to capital charges for the sewer maintenance. But before we say anything more about that particular component of it, we want to confirm with the assessor and the controller.
Right.
Just,
Yeah, I'm just asking on their behalf. I just thought, I don't know if they don't come here, they don't speak. I'm sure they're dealing with it on their own between their legal team and whatever else the
Well,
town.
A bunch of us has also spoke with them privately.
I'm sorry?
I said a bunch of us have also spoke with them privately. We're not
No,
just leaving
I-
them out to dry, because
I know
our hearts
that.
bleed for them, believe me.
But I would love to put it out there as a taxpayer, if we could perhaps think about somehow reimbursing them or helping them out, just putting it out there. That's it. Thanks, guys.
Jean.
All right, thank you. Okay, is there anyone else who would like to come up, new business, open forum? Okay, there being none, does the board have any announcements they'd like to make?
Just,
Susie?
do you have just that the concert series are going to be starting soon. I left it in my pocketbook. So just keep an eye out. The concert series are going to be starting at the Chamber Park soon, so you can call. The one Saturday is canceled, Bob just told me, so don't go Saturday. Oh, the music festival, okay, which was going to be held on Saturday, is canceled.
Which
But,
Saturday was that going to be held on?
This Saturday, it's
This
the
coming
music fest. It's the music
At Chamber
festival.
Park?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's where the bands get together. and
That's
stuff.
canceled?
Yeah, yeah.
Postponed, okay.
But just with the Recreation Department, they're really great concerts to go to.
Okay,
And that's it.
that's it? All right, I just have this one announcement. The Italian American Club is going to have a tribute to Elvis this Friday, May 18th, 2018, 7:30 p.m. Ads featuring Pat Castaldo and all the King's Men. It's going to be at the Italian American Club. So this Friday, May 18th, it's $30 per person with advanced PayPal registration, or $35 at the door. Refreshments will be available, and that's sponsored by the Italian American Club of Mahopac. And it's a fundraising event for United for the Troops, which is a great organization that provides care packages to our troops serving overseas. So if you're not busy Friday night, you want to see a tribute to Elvis, and Pat Castaldo, as Greg knows, does a really good job as an Elvis impersonator. So if you're not busy, go to the Italian American Club. $35 gets you refreshments available, and your donation is going to a great cause, United for the Troops. So, yeah, I guess I can. I just received an email from NYSEG that dry ice and bottled water are now available at the Putnam County Training and Operations Center at 112 Old Route 6 in Carmel. It will be open until 8 p.m., which is already passed. 8 p.m. tonight. They will reopen at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. The dry ice and bottled water is for the municipalities to pick up and take back to their respective towns and villages. So the public cannot pick up their dry ice and water at the Putnam County Training and Operations Center, also known as the TOPS building. Municipalities have to pick it up tomorrow morning and bring it back to their towns. For their constituents, it's not a site for individual customer pickup, is what they're saying. So we do plan on picking up. You'll have a truck there? Okay. We plan on picking up dry ice and water tomorrow at the TOPS building, and we're going to bring it back, Mike, back here again?
Yeah, this is the problem with NICEC, with the distribution. I mean, we have to use private trucks. I mean, the highway department's probably booked with projects. There's no planning or organization. So, yeah, we'll send the same truck we sent out last time, which belongs to my partner, and a couple of employees to pick it up and bring it to Town Hall. Should be here. If
Probably.
they open at 8 o'clock, they'll be back here by 9 o'clock.
At 9.
They open
It
at
opens at
9.
9.
It opens at 9?
At 9, yeah,
So
opens
they'll
at
be
9.
back here, they'll be back here by 10 o'clock.
By 10 o'clock.
And
All right,
most of the food is
so
probably already
you'll have them go up there, Mike, and just tell them that they're picking up for the town of Carmel?
You'll have them do that.
I'll have them do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll supply the truck and the men.
You're going to have them report here?
You gotta wake up early
You have to wake up earlier tomorrow.
Okay, so that means I need to meet them either here or up there at 9 o'clock.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
Kenny, we can probably also use the recreation truck or the truck that we have
Well,
here,
we have the
too.
town hall truck.
Yeah, so use that as well.
I already told Joe today to make sure it's fueled up,
Yep.
and there's
And
nothing
ready
in
to
the back
go.
of it.
Yeah, we used
Yep.
2 trucks last time. You need 2 trucks.
You definitely do. All right, so you'll have the dump,
Yep.
they'll have the dump truck? Okay. All right. So we'll get it back here, and we'll make it available here at 10
o'clock.
10 o'clock back here?
As long as, yeah, if the people here at 10 o'clock, and there's nobody here, just wait a couple of minutes because there might be a line up there, but we'll be there at 9 o'clock.
All right.
My guys will leave here at 8:30. They'll be parked there at 9 o'clock waiting for them to open.
So they should be back here, geez, by 10 o'clock.
They should be
If
back
they
here
load
by
'em up fast
9:30,
enough,
quarter
by
to 10,
9:30,
yes.
Yeah,
Depends how fast they
Okay.
load them.
And just,
Confirm with NYSEG that they'll have the dry ice bags for you, because we went out last time.
Yeah, and that's true, too. Last time,
Bagging the dry ice for our, not only our
Yeah.
town, but LaGrange, we bagged, I mean, we bagged ice with NYSEG for 2 hours up there, because they didn't have the dry ice in bags available.
so can,
You can just confirm
yeah,
Okay.
you can just,
up there bagging ice.
Yeah.
Can email.
it's a-
I'll email Kathleen Abels
Yeah.
back
yeah.
and just confirm that it's going to be all bagged and ready to go.
Yeah, and another suggestion, since it's probably going to be raining, just have the recreation guys, why don't you have them report here tomorrow and go up with the crew to help with the ice?
Well, they have a dump truck also,
Yeah, so.
so we
tell-
could
you
fill their
know,
truck up as well,
Well, yeah, I
I'll
would.
call Jimmy in the morning.
Call Jimmy tonight,
or tonight, yeah.
call him tonight and just
Tell
tell
him to have
them
his-
to have the guys, come here tomorrow.
Okay. All right, is anybody going to be around tomorrow?
Yeah, the recreation crew is, and.
I
the-
met
the-
you,
No, let them do it since they're getting paid for it. You know what I'm saying? Let them go get the trucks and let them go get it.
Yep.
All right? We all did it. I mean, I'm more than happy to
guys will
help
stay.
out,
Okay.
but,
All right,
you
all
know,
right, we'll get it done,
yeah,
we'll get it done, yep. I'll call Jimmy tonight,
yep, perfect.
all right. All right, so Ann, we could put something on, either on the website.
It's here.
Once it's here, you'll,
Send a text alert out to
okay,
signed up with the text alert, yes.
okay, very good. And I'll put
Dan.
something on,
Can't make this up
Facebook also.
and bag it.
okay. Does anybody else have any other announcements?
Memorial Day is next weekend. The local Mayapack Memorial Day ceremony, I believe, is going to be Sunday, 11.
Carmel
Carmel
is Sunday.
Sunday at 11, and then Mayapack is going to be Monday at 10:30, Clark Place. Carmel lineup, I think, is going to be right at the VFW hall out there. And then,
And then they march up to the memorial.
right, it's quick service on both. If you're around, it would be nice to show your support, and it's what makes America great. It's Memorial Day. It is the day we're supposed to remember those who sacrificed the ultimate price for our freedoms.
Most important holiday.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we do not have executive session tonight, so we're going to close the meeting right from here, and we'll be back here next Wednesday for a town board work session. So I need a motion to close.
Second.
So moved by Councilwoman McDonough, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night, everyone. Be well. We'll see you next week.